What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. Alright, welcome back to the channel. If you've never been here before and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at Raider Honcho. You already know the vibes. You already know what type of time I'm on. And I'm back with a video breaking down some practice film footage, okay? Now, before we get started, let me preface my comments by saying I am not a professional athlete. I am not a professional athlete's coach, trainer, confidant, best friend, or nothing like that. I am just going to give you my opinions on what I am watching on these films, on these little short clips, okay? Out of context of what the whole practice was. I'm just taking these short clips that people send me, and I'm going to give you some feedback on what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to coach these players. I'm not even trying to correct these players. I'm just trying to give you some insight of what a former DB is looking at and what a current defensive back coach is looking at when I'm watching some of these clips. All right, so let's get right into the madness. It looks like the first clip I got here is going to be Henry Ruggs versus Trayvon Mullen. So this should be a good matchup. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, first and foremost, what I am going to do, I am going to mute this. I don't want to necessarily hear that. Okay, I'm going to mute that. So let's start it back. Let's start it back. Okay, here we go. Okay, boom, inside release. Okay, okay, ooh, okay. Let's bring that back 1 second. All right. So I know that when I talk about Trayvon Mullen, I always talk about him being really handsy, really grabby, and stuff like that. As a corner, I don't like to see that. I like physicality, I like aggression, but I don't like being too handsy because you get a lot of holding calls and a lot of PI calls, especially in the NFL. High school, college, you get away with stuff like this, but in the NFL, it is so ticky-tacky. So let's get into it. He looks like he's got a good base here. He looks like he's inside shade, so what he wants to do is stay on the inside hip. Okay, very simple stuff. Now, I will say guarding Henry Ruggs in this situation is probably really, really tough, which is why I'm really, really happy he's on our team and Trayvon Mullen doesn't have to guard him. But if you're going to be going against the Tyreek Hills and people like that, of that caliber speed, you have to have good feet. Okay, so right here, let's take it slow. All right, so he fakes him inside. He kind of gets Mullen to step inside, but he takes kind of an outside release. Okay, now, the first problem what I'm having right here is right here when he goes that way, Trayvon Mullen should be getting an offhand jam with his right hand. He should be getting an offhand jam with his right hand and inch stepping to the left, okay, at 45 degrees. That way you're keeping some type of cushion to where if you got to switch angles or you got to switch the hips, you have the space to do so, okay? Now, what he's going to do here to compound that issue for me is right there. Look at that. That is not where I want my DBs to be. You are in no man's land, okay? You have both hands out. You have both hands out. I just don't like this right here. Trayvon Mullen is a good secondary player. He's a good cornerback, but this is unacceptable right here. You're going for the two-hand jam, right? And look, he doesn't even really get it. He doesn't really get it, and what Henry Ruggs is able to do in this situation is you can see right here, you're getting Trayvon Mullen to lock his hips to one side of the field, knowing you're going to go right back inside on him. And since he's not getting any kind of jams, he's a little beat. So now you're doing all this hand fighting. Look at this. Trayvon Mullen's doing all this hand fighting here, which is not going to help him. It's not going to help him at all. He's probably going to get a PI call on this anyway. But then look, right here, now he's face-to-face with him. What the hell are you doing face-to-face with him? Okay, now what you should be doing is probably taking that left hand like you got right here. This is good. You got this left hand right here. You should probably be just jamming that a little harder. Instead of trying to grab him and hug him, just jam that shoulder. Now what will happen when you jam that shoulder, he will be able to open up his hips back to the inside of the field. Okay, he will be able to open his hips back to the inside of the field. Right here, he's locked. He's locked. He's too square. He's locked. He's not going to be able to get there. And what's crazy about it is, as beat as he is, he almost makes the play right there. He almost makes the play. This obviously, this is going to be a pass interference call right here just because his hand is right here. But when you're beat, you're beat. You got to do what you got to do to try to get back. And he almost makes this play, but it's really just the little things he did in the beginning by not getting his hands on the guy the right way, not offhand jamming, turning the hips, flipping the hips, opening the hips. It just was a little too handsy for me. We'll watch it again. Right there is just too much hands and not enough movement of the lower body. He's doing too much upper body stuff, not enough lower body. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next clip. Next clip looks like we have the Phenom himself. We got Nate Hobbs. Look like he's going against Keelan Doss. I actually don't know who the hell that is, but I'm just going to say Keelan Doss, and we'll see what's up. All right, so let's watch it through. Okay, takes an inside release. All right. And, yeah, it looks like Nate Hobbs got smoked right there. I will say that these are hard routes to cover because there's so much space. You have no help. You don't know what to do. But the only thing I would say here with Nate Hobbs is right here, offhand jam. Offhand jam. Offhand jam with the left hand. I'd be trying to jam this shoulder and keeping my hand there as long as I could. And you know, you got to think, you always want to be trailing the receiver a little bit. I do a trail technique when I play DB. My coaches teach that. I teach a little bit of that as well. The trail technique is like, you kind of always want to give them a half a step because then it allows you to react to what they're doing. You don't want to try to guess what they're doing because then that's how you get beat. So right here, he has no hands on him, no jam. He's running with him, but he's not running with any type of idea that he's going to break that route off. Because I think he's looking too much at the head and shoulders, not enough at the hips. But that's what happens when you're right on the guy. It's kind of hard to watch the hips when you're face-to-face with him. That's why I like to trail a little bit. I like the trail technique a lot for situations like that. And then it looks like he just breaks off the route. And, yeah, Hobbs just beat. There's nothing you can say. He's just beat. It's a good route. The ball is thrown on time. It's probably Derek Carr. And that's just nothing you can really do with there. Nothing you can do there. He just got beat. That stuff is going to happen. The only thing, like I said, I would change. You're already inside of him here. I'd probably jam with the left hand right there. Instead of being this square right there, I would jam with this. I would inch step. Oh, damn, hold on. I would inch step this foot that way on a 45-degree angle and just keep a little bit of a gap between us two where I'm not face-to-face with him. Because if I'm face-to-face with him, I'm forced to look at his head and shoulders, right? Which means he can give me any kind of jukes, and I have to respect it, right? If I'm a little bit of space, I can still get to the hip. If I get to the hip, then I feel like I can cover anybody. All right, so that's all I would change right there for Nate Hobbs. I mean, he got beat there. That kind of shit happens, man. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, he just got beat. That stuff is going to happen. Look, here we go. Trayvon Mullen's trying to explain. Look, I had him, coach, but then he did the... You know, and Gus Brad's like, yeah, okay, buddy. You got beat, that's okay. All right, what we got next? It looks like what we got next, it looks like we're going to have Isaiah Johnson, the return of Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson hasn't been on the field, so let's see. This is my first time actually getting to see a rep. I'll go full speed first. Okay, bring it back. And I know a lot of you are like, wow, that's a great rep. This is a good rep. This is a good rep. But the thing is, right here, he whiffs. Look, swip. You can't have that. This should be a jam with the left hand on the shoulder pad. Okay, left hand jam on the shoulder pad. Then you get to the hip. Okay, now, the ball should already be thrown. The ball's thrown a little late. But I will say Isaiah Johnson has so much range and so much length as a defensive player that he's able to recover on this and knock the ball down, which is a great play. But he probably knows the route. He probably knows the route because it's a drill, right? Let's say he's in this positional beat here. He's getting his head back that way. What if this receiver decides to turn upfield on a nice little wheel route? He is freaking destroyed. He's burnt. Kentucky Fried Chicken is over for him. But he doesn't make a great play on that, so I'm not going to hate on him too much. But what I would have liked to see, my joint is going crazy right now. What I would have liked to see him do there is just get the offhand jam with the left hand, get to the hip, and then you could get your head around once you have contact with the receiver, okay? Once you lose contact with the receiver, you're out of phase. You want to just chase the receiver. But I think him knowing the route probably helped him be able to get his head around knowing the ball probably had to be thrown at that point. So not terrible. I give that rep a B. I give Hobbs rep a C-, and I give Trayvon Mullen's rep a D. I know it's probably, I know y'all not going to like that. I just don't think it was a really good rep what I saw technique-wise with the hands. So I'm just going to give it that. I know it's hard to guard Ruggs. I'm not saying I could do it, but what I saw from him as a professional NFL starting cornerback who's supposed to be our corner one, I need to see better technique with his hands. Just a little too handsy for me. Alright, so if you like the video, like the video. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at Raider Honcho. And until the next time, Raider Honcho out.